Warning, it's not a shocker when it comes to mainstream media. This is right on brand. Ousted CBS producer accuses network of race based layoffs. Trey Sherman is his name, associate producer for CBS Evening News and for the network's CBS Race and Culture Unit. Do you see how ironic it is? Not. I mean, this is what they're doing. I know. We'll claim it's fair, but we'll first start with the Race and Culture Unit at CBS because we didn't really want it in the first place. He's accusing the network of race based layoffs after the company laid off 1,000 employees in a first round of cuts. Watch this.
I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive who told me I was getting laid off, I specifically asked him if it was a consideration for us to be relocated somewhere else within the company, and he said that we advocated to keep the show. We advocated to try to get you relocated somewhere, and we couldn't. Because I asked him, why are you the person who is making this decision or delivering the news that we're being laid off? And he said, oh, it could have been anyone. Only to later find out, because it wasn't until I went downstairs thinking that me and all of my colleagues had been laid off, that I found out that it was only the people of color. So I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. Are you getting laid off? No. Are you getting laid off? No.
Now, see, Trey, stop being such a reporter. Stop investigating. They told you the reason. They had to, work with limited resources. You didn't make the cut. It's nothing to do with your skin color. That's this shoulder. There's a little something on this shoulder saying that. But on this shoulder, they're saying, Trey, they lied to your face, and you're right, son. Could you escaped out of there? They lied. Another 1,000 jobs expected to be cut later date. That, according to the Los Angeles Times, CBS has not commented on Sherman's claims. They won't. They're not going to comment. CBS has reportedly disbanded its race and culture unit. That unit formed in 2020. What was going on in 2020? Let me see if I can remember. Oh, that's right. People were taken to the streets because a Black man had someone kneeling on his neck for a few minutes. He ended up dying, and it's been dubbed a racial awakening, right? The summer of woke. And that's when they came up with this sham of a unit. Okay? Yeah, 2020, the wake of George Floyd's murder. CBS News has disbanded the Race and Culture Unit. NBC News, what are they doing? I'm sure they're much better over there, aren't they? Let's see. NBC News has made, similar headlines. NBC News eliminated its team dedicated to covering issues affecting Black, Asian American, Latino, LGBTQ plus groups, part of its layoffs of about 150 staffers on Wednesday, according to two sources familiar with the matter. A significant culling as the Peacock network separates from its sister news network, MSNBC. The cuts mean that the verticals, NBC Black, NBC Asian America, NBC Latino, NBC Out, will no longer have dedicated teams bolstering their coverage. Newsflash, you didn't anyway, unless they needed you for something like the Black man who couldn't breathe because this dog, now incarcerated ex-cop, was kneeling on his neck. Then they needed you. Total reductions, which affected NBC News' entire news operation, make up about 7% of NBC News' newsroom, of about 2,000 staffers, 2% of the wider NBCU news group, which includes Telemundo and the network's owned and operated local news stations. Yeah, they got a new one in Atlanta. CBS might have come sniffing around a certain news lady you might know. I said, you're picking up the wrong scent. Hey, those days are over. So, Jordan, this is, it sickens me. And I'm someone who believes there needs to be a Miss Black America pageant There needs to be publications that cater to Asians, Latinos, LGBTQ plus. But here's the part that sickens me. The fact that you needed it in the first place, instead of just covering groups fairly, equal coverage, important coverage under the NBC or CBS brand. But you couldn't be trusted to do that. So you made up some utter BS, actually. And you staffed it and you gave a few Black kids, you maybe even put up a few tables for career day at the HBCUs, but you had no intention of keeping this. You knew that as soon as you needed to get on the chopping block, here we go. Where's Joy Reid? Has anyone seen Joy Reid lately? No, haven't seen her, have you? Even though they tried to shuffle in. Oh, now Jen Psaki's on every night. That's interesting. And her, oh, you changed the time slot so that we wouldn't notice. Anywho, I'm just babbling on, but this is no shocker. It's no surprise at all to me. Jordan, what's your reaction to this one?
I I think there's an element of them trying to glom onto that movement and gain positive press by creating this team, but I think the elimination here really lies with Barry Weiss, who's the new editor in chief after the Ellisons through this Skydance CBS Paramount merger or acquisition. This is a total, it's not just this, you're seeing it elsewhere throughout the media, this consolidation and remaking in a right-wing image of legacy press. And while we certainly have had our criticisms of these outlets and these institutions for anti-progressive, anti-left bias, they're ultimately center, maybe center left institutions. But now they are shifting wildly to the right. You're seeing a bias in coverage. CBS just did this really bizarre hit piece on Zoran Mamdani from a very pro-Israel perspective. I mean, this is what Barry Weiss has done throughout her career, and now that she's in charge at CBS News, she's going to remake this legacy media institution into a right-wing outlet through the peddling of pro-Israel talking points, through the anti-trans agenda. Whatever the issue is, it'll have a right-wing spin to it now, and it's very sad. Again, despite our criticisms of the past, CBS News as an institution was mostly okay and reliable, and you lose that sense of reliability in these changes.
Yeah. When you pay out, what was it, 16 million, or was that ABC? I stopped counting because of the way 60 Minutes edited an interview. It's it. Stop peeing on our legs and telling us it's raining. Stop it. Okay. You're right. This is going to be made over. And the whole thing about nothing to see here, there's a lot to see here. And I think you're right too, Jordan. It's the way they're doing it. Okay. Colbert pops up, he's fired. Okay. Just like you could have kind of let things, I don't know, die out, fade, whatever, contract negotiations. Gail King, there's a monstrous leaks. You're talking about leaks. I mean, Gail King, whatever. There's an acquired taste or not. Robert. Okay. Remember the interview with R. Kelly? Bizarro world. But it's the way they're doing it. It seems to me that they're taking glee and joy in it as well, letting the public know this is what we're doing, get on board. And yes, no longer left leaning, middle left. It's over. It's over. That is why independent media, which I'm preaching to the choir, beautiful TYT family. It's the only way to go for truth, for truth.